Abortion victims crash a swanky Planned Parenthood fundraiser. Pro-abortion petitioners in the state of Ohio are cheating. What a shocker. And also, we'll be talking about the upcoming Day of Action here in Columbus, June 22 and 23. And finally, by popular demand, Pro-Aborts of TikTok. The Mark Harrington Show is brought to you by Created Equal, and you can donate to our ministry on college and high school campuses by going to createdequal.org. And if you want to pick up the program, you can listen to it on all the popular podcasting platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And also, you can follow me on social media, the Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and all the rest. So today we're going to be talking about several topics. The first is Pro-Aborts of TikTok. By popular demand, it's one of the things we've been doing on occasion here on the program, and that is me responding to pro-abortion posts on TikTok. So we're going to do a couple of those. And then we're going to be talking about this Planned Parenthood fundraiser, which is a little bit different than a lot of the typical protests that we have undertaken over the last several years. I think you're going to be intrigued. And then here in Ohio, we have petition signers out collecting signatures to put on the ballot a constitutional amendment that will enshrine abortion into the very moment of birth. We're going to be talking about some shady business going on with them. So let's go ahead and start out. This is Pro-Aborts of TikTok. Let's play that first clip.
If you have had an abortion or will have an abortion, I want you to know that you can feel anything and everything or nothing at any given time. Give yourself full permission to feel whatever it is that you need to feel. This is your own process, and there is no manual. There is no range of emotions that you're allowed to feel or not feel. Today, I was triggered. I was at my pap smear, and I just started crying because it was a triggering moment for me. And I was like, am I even allowed to be sad right now? Yes, you can be sad, you can feel nothing, anything and everything goes. Give yourself full permission to be with wherever you are.
Well, here's a tacit admission that there's something wrong with abortion. The fact that she says that she was triggered when she had her pap smear, of all things, tells you something. That tells you that abortion is different than any other medical procedure. It's not like going to the dentist or having some kind of elective surgical procedure. Abortion is an entirely different category. And she said you could feel whatever you want to feel. Why is emotion even involved in this if it weren't for the fact that you're killing a baby? Again, a tacit admission that abortion is an act of violence that kills a baby. All right, let's go to the next clip. And this is a Pro-Aborts of TikTok. Go ahead.
My body, my choice. It's not your body.
We don't say my body, my choice because we think the fetus is part of our body. We say it because the fetus is using our body to sustain its own life, and we get to decide whether or not we allow it to do so because we have bodily autonomy. Now, I know where you're going to go with this. What about the fetus's bodily autonomy? Fetuses don't have bodily autonomy because they're not autonomous beings. And even if they did, bodily autonomy doesn't entitle you to use someone else's organs to sustain your own life. It's very counterintuitive that you're the brunette and I'm the blonde here.
You know, what's really interesting here is that she's treating the unborn like they're some kind of alien that invaded her or anyone's bodies without permission. Pregnancy is something that we consent to when we consent to sex, right? So it's not some kind of alien that just invades your body. Now, we do have bodily autonomy to a certain degree. Our bodies can be used for anything we wish as long as we don't harm another person. And in this case, that's what happens in abortion. The harming of another person. Your bodily autonomy ends when you harm someone else, and that's what happens during an abortion. So, all right, so let's go ahead and play the next clip. This is Pro-Aborts of TikTok.
What did you say, Grandma? I said if men were able to have babies, there wouldn't be any rules banning abortions. they would have an abortion every single minute of every single day, every single year, every single month. God, man.
Anything else you want to say?
I love everybody.
Well, here I have some agreement with her, and that is that men treat abortion like a sacrament because they get off the hook with abortion. They can be promiscuous. They can go on sexual encounters without any responsibility whatsoever. All they have to do is say, hey, go take care of this. Here's a couple $100. So in some ways, she's right that men get off the hook. And if abortion were, if men could get pregnant, they'd want abortions. And I think that's true for the most part. It just comes to the fact of this, and that is there's nothing liberating for women to have abortions. All it does is enslave them further to men. And we've got to get over that. Feminism does not believe that we should be enslaved to men. In other words, feminism teaches we should be equal to men, but in some cases we're not, because women are the ones who get pregnant, and that does separate them from men. But I have to agree with her at some level that if men could get pregnant, they'd want abortions to be legal. All right, next clip. Pro-Aborts of TikTok.
You don't have the right to tell my 14-year-old daughter she has to carry her rapist baby. You understand
to
that?
To look that woman in the eye who was the born
listen,
of a rape.
Do you understand that? That's a 14-year-old child.
I don't think murder fixes a rape.
What if she just turned positive, just now? Positive for pregnancy?
I don't think any of the examples of like, oh, well, how developed is it? Can it think? Is it conscious? Can it dream? Can it feel pain?
So for you, it's the moment of conception.
I think that if it's a human life, a distinct human life, then I think it's wrong to end its life.
A 14-year-old child gets raped. You say that they have to carry that baby?
We're talking about a procedure that ends an innocent human life, and we're calling it healthcare? That's like calling rape lovemaking.
Well, here's popular podcaster Joe Rogan and Seth Dillon, who's the pro-lifer. And what's really clear in this little clip is that Joe Rogan doesn't see the unborn as human. Otherwise, he wouldn't be making this case, right? Because he sees the unborn as unhuman, then if they're conceived and raped, then they're not a real person, and therefore you can have an abortion. That's the problem. Whether a child is conceived in love between consenting adults, hopefully in the covenant of marriage, or through violence, in the case rape or incest, that does not change the humanity of the unborn, despite the difficult circumstances to which they may be brought into the world. In this case, a 14-year-old who might get pregnant as a result of rape. It doesn't change the facts that we shouldn't punish the baby for the sins of the father. They're either human or they're not, and no justification for abortion can be made if they're human. They should be treated just like us. All right, next clip. This is, again, Pro-Aborts of TikTok.
I see this sign here that says God is pro-life. What does that mean?
God is pro-life?
Yeah.
That's just what it means, yes. God created life.
Didn't God kill everybody on earth except for Noah and some farm animals on an ark?
I'm sorry.
Stumper.
Didn't God kill everybody on earth?
Well, he was stumped, wasn't he? It's true. God did kill everyone on earth using the flood, but the difference is they weren't innocent. God gave them warnings. He punished them because of their behavior. It was a judgment. And God is the giver of life. He also then has the authority to take life. But it's clear that God is pro-life in that he does not shed innocent blood, and he doesn't support the shedding of innocent blood, right? So humans that are innocent, God treats as anyone else. And therefore, in this case, the other question is this: God is pro-life on abortion. That means that abortion is the shedding of innocent blood, taking of innocent human life. That is the key here: innocent human life. And God has the authority to take life if he wishes, but he never takes innocent life. All right, that's Pro-Aborts of TikTok. Again, a regular feature here on the Mark Harrington Show and backed by popular demand. All right, so now we're going to transition. I want to be talking about here in the next several minutes of the program a couple of events that have taken place and that will be taking place with Created Equal. The first is this. Recently, we assisted Live Action and Protect Life Michigan in a very unique outreach, and this was a protest at Planned Parenthood. Now, protesting Planned Parenthood isn't anything new. What made this one different is that it was the fundraiser was to celebrate the passage of Amendment 3 in Michigan that legalized or enshrined abortion up to the mere moment of birth last November. And it took place on the Detroit River, right on the waterway there. And some very innovative pro-life activists, led by A.J. Hurley of Live Action, decided to launch the first pro-abortion protest on a boat. So here we go. We're going to play this clip, and then I'll talk about it on the other side. Again, this is a protest Planned Parenthood on a boat protest, if you will.
Because of you! You will fall on the wrong side of history if you choose to side with them. Abortion is oppression! Protect our children! These are real children! At your hands! No choice! That's a lie! Babies never choose to die! For killing black children, 40% of their community now is gone! Because of you!
So what a cool protest. Now, your radio activists, that's me, have thought about putting signs, videos on boats before. We've just never done it. This is the first time we've ever done it. And if you notice, there's an LED screen. Well, that's ours. And that's on that boat. And so basically it comes down to this. We are like the land, sea, and air operation of the United States military, except the fact that we're delivering a message of life. A message of life. Whether it's land, sea, or air, we're going to deliver that message. And in this case, it was the sea, the waterways. And for the first time that I'm aware of in 50 years of pro-life activism, this is the first time I've ever seen a boat protest of Planned Parenthood using an LED screen. And so the bottom line is this. If you have a venue, we've got the tactic. We've got the resources to be able to deliver the message to whomever you want it to be delivered to. And in this case, it was a Planned Parenthood fundraiser, a swanky Planned Parenthood fundraiser in Detroit. So if you're interested, let us know. We'll bring our assets, our resources to your protest, to your outreach event using our cutting edge technology that is LED screens. All right, so let's move on. I want to talk a little bit about the Ohio Constitutional Amendment, or should I say the proposed Ohio Constitutional Amendment, which if you're listening, you've been listening to the program, you know that there are pro-abortion activists right now circulating petitions to get this on the ballot in Ohio, so it'll be on the November ballot, and they have until July 5th to do so. Well, here at Created Equal, we launched a project called Decline to Sign. That is, when we hear something, we say something. When we see something, we say something. When we see the petitioners out collecting signatures, we have a portal, a website set up at createdequal.org that allows people to put a pin on where they might be getting these petitions signed. And if you sign up as a volunteer, you get an alert, and you can go out and discuss the amendment with those who might be inclined to sign it and try to clear up all the misinformation and lies that's being perpetrated by the pro-abortion side. So that's Decline to Sign. Well, as you can imagine, when we're out there, these petition circulators aren't telling the truth. What a shocker, right? I mean, Planned Parenthood are murderers, so they're also going to be liars. And the people that work for them, the people that are trying to get these petitions signed, are going to lie about the amendment in order to get somebody to sign it. And also, I might say, and I think it's important, they get paid to do it. And so what we've done is we've been able to capture on video, which is, by the way, legal in the state of Ohio. It's a one-party state. That means that you can record as long as one person knows that they're being recorded, and that could be you, as long as you're doing that. And we have been out recording some of the signers and some of the petition gatherers, not the signers, the petition gatherers for the most part. And we've come across a few situations in which we believe they're breaking the law. And so what I want to do is I'm going to play this clip. This is at Columbus State Community College here in Columbus, and this is a circulator who got someone to sign who shouldn't have been signing. Go ahead and play the clip.
Do you guys support abortion through all 9 months of pregnancy?
Same thing. He's with me.
Hey, you know what county you're Oh, he just said what county you reside in?
I know the zip code.
Oh, we got it.
Hey, she did say she wasn't registered to vote in Ohio.
In the state of Ohio, right?
Gotcha.
So when these get notarized, her signature gets disqualified and it doesn't count.
Gotcha.
But from a manager point of view, the signature counts for me as a signature for today. That's how we get paid.
Caught red-handed, as they say, right? What a shock that these people will be doing sketchy stuff out there trying to circulate and get people to sign petitions to enshrine abortion in the Ohio Constitution. Not a shock to us, but this group, Protect Choice Ohio, is hiring people, many of them from out of state, to come in and get petitions signed. And the law is really clear here, and that is that those who sign the petition must be a registered voter. Makes sense, right? But despite that, and I would assume this petitioner knew it, and despite that, this petitioner went ahead and signed up someone who's not a voter. That's against the Ohio Revised Code. It's against the law in Ohio. If you don't believe me, let me read from the portion of the Ohio Revised Code that says this. If a circulator knowingly permits an unqualified person, that's a non-Ohio voter, to sign a petition paper, that petition paper is invalid. So, by the strict letter of the law, that petition that this individual got signed from this non-Ohio registered voter should not even be submitted. Now, we believe they're breaking the law. We've submitted this to the Ohio Secretary of State for review. We're hoping to hear back soon. But the bottom line is this, that those who are trying to get these petitions signed are cheating. And this is an example of it. And it's probably happening a heck of a lot more than just the one time we caught them on tape. So that teaches us one thing, that these folks aren't out to do the right thing. They're getting paid. They'll do whatever they can to get to, as you could tell, he was all about the money. He didn't really care about the issue per se. He's willing to kind of stretch the rules a little bit in order to get paid, because he gets paid by signatures, whether they're a registered voter or not. But it teaches us this, that if these circulators are doing this, what other things are they doing that are sketchy? So if you are involved in the Decline to Sign project, if you're going out to these locations where they're getting petitions signed, make sure you're filming what you're doing and documenting what you're doing so we can make more appeals to the Secretary of State that they're breaking the law. And if who knows, the whole thing could get tossed out if we take it to court. So if we don't, it just once again shows us who are the law-abiding people, who are the people who are the lawbreakers. All right, finally, a bit of update as far as Created Equal, and that is on June 22 and 23, we will be holding our annual Day of Action. You can go to createdequal.org action to find out more. And we have a couple of speakers. Mike Spencer from Project Life Voice will be our keynote. We have Haley from the organization, Haley Gusa, I think is how you pronounce the last name, from Protect Life Michigan will be speaking. Yours truly will be there. Seth Dreyer also, Evangeline Abafi will also be speaking at this. And it's more than just a bunch of speakers, because the idea here is to activate you, to get you out in the culture, making a difference for life and the gospel. And so there's going to be trainings, there's going to be teachings, there's going to be inspiration, calls to action, all that kind of stuff. But we're going to take you out onto the streets to Planned Parenthood out front of the abortion facility here in Columbus. We're going to be taking you downtown to be able to talk to people about abortion and the gospel. And we're also going to be teaching you about the Ohio proposed pro-abortion Ohio constitutional amendment and what you can do about it. So you can sign up by going to createdequal.org/action. It's free of charge, but we have limited capacity at the venue to which we're going to be holding the event. Again, createdequal.org/Ohio. You can find out more. So you've been listening to your radio activist here on the Mark Harrington Show. You can find out more by going to markharrington.org. We'll see you next time. God bless you. God bless America. And remember, America, to bless God.
You've been listening to Mark Harrington, your radio activist. For more information on how to make a difference for the cause of life, liberty, and justice, go to createdequal.org. To follow Mark, go to markharringtonshow.com. Be sure to tune in next time for your marching orders in the culture war.